Thank you. Sent Kelly a rather short notice email that said, do you know this song? Here are the words, here are the chords. It's essentially my talk. And she pulled it off beautifully. So we're finishing up the month of February. All the colors of love. We've talked about for the love of God, how we are that. We've talked about our bodies are not apologies. I have not yet had the opportunity, but I'm looking forward to this afternoon learning about sacred sexuality when I post Rev Lanny's talk from last week. And this morning we're looking at It's Like You're My Mirror, relationships as a spiritual path to awakening. And this song, for me anyway, just sums it up so beautifully. Trying to live in love with a heart that can't be broken is like trying to see the light with eyes that can't be opened. If we walk around with our eyes closed, we don't see a whole lot. And if we walk around with our hearts so protected that they can't break open to grow, we miss a lot of amazing experiences. Some of the deepest awakenings I've had have been through what in this human realm we call heartbreak. And I've learned to embrace it as my heart's not breaking as in broken, need to be replaced, but broken open. We both carry baggage we picked up on our way. So if you love me gently, and I'll do the same. What would change in our individual lives, in our families, in our communities, in our larger communities, and dare we say, in our world, if we applied that on a daily breath-to-breath basis? If we understood that everybody has baggage. Everybody has baggage. And we spent some time focusing on how our baggage impacts ourselves and others more than we focus on somebody else's baggage. Notice how it's so much easier to focus on somebody else's stuff than your stuff. I ain't judging, I'm just saying. It tends to be a pattern for us humans. What baggage are you still carrying that stops you from loving you? Because this song has to be applied to you first. And so, what if we loved ourselves as gently as that which created us loves us? Because we can't give to somebody else what we haven't given to ourselves. We just can't. You know, if you want me to give you $100, first I have to get $100. The same thing works in the internal giving realm. I can't love you if I don't love me. I can love you as far as I love me, but then there's a stopping point. I'll let you look inside me through the stains and through the cracks. And in the darkness of this moment, you see the good and bad. Now we know, spiritually speaking, there's just good. And we also know we live in the land of language. And so most of us, the minute we hear the word good, we think about something bad, because that's the way we're programmed linguistically. What if we stopped guarding ourselves so tightly? What if we opened up and let people see who we authentically are? I am absolutely convinced in the core of my being that vulnerability is the gateway to freedom. Because if I won't let you see me, what am I hiding? And why am I hiding it? Because I'm carrying shame. And as long as I'm carrying shame, that love thing is incomplete. I'm remembering a story that I saw on Facebook not too long ago, where it's in an old southern town, and part of a trial is the witnesses identify different people in the courtroom. And so the attorney has the witness, an elderly woman who's been in the community for her whole life, on the stand. So, ma'am, do you know me? Yes, I do. I've known you since you were a little boy. And you're quite a disappointment. You lie, you cheat, you steal, you cheated on your wife. But yes, I do know you. And so being a bit thrown by that, I shift a little bit and ask if she knew the defense attorney. Yes, I do. I've known him almost as long as I've known you, and he's even worse than you. He lies, he cheats, he steals. He's cheated on his wife 3 times, and one of those was with your wife. And about that time, the judge called the attorneys up to the bench and leaned in and whispered, if either one of you idiots ask her if she knows me, I'm sending you both to jail. What would it be like if we didn't care what those people who have known us our whole lives said on a witness stand? What would it be like to have that level of freedom? I spent this past week in Denver at our organization's annual convention, and it was amazing. And one of the things that was amazing was letting down the walls and getting to know people at a deeper level. And having the conversation repeatedly with folks about what it was like to be a minister who was threatened to be shot by someone in your congregation. Now, that didn't happen here. It doesn't matter where it happened, really. What I was able to share over and over again was the gift of that experience. And the gift of that experience, in a nutshell, was I got to finally meet that part of me that we talk about that has never been harmed. That part of us, the essence of our being, that can't be harmed. And the more I told it, the more anchored I got the opportunity to re-experience that and to reignite that fire that knows on some human level now that you can't hurt me. Nobody can. And it's an amazing thing to know, because it creates this freedom for you to look in through the dark spaces, for you to look through the stains, and to look at all of the cracks in me and in my human journey with zero shame that they're there, with an understanding that every one of those experiences brought me here to be with you. makes me available to sit with you right where you are, lovingly, tenderly, non-judgmentally, in the muck and the mire of our humanness. And when we can give that gift to one another, it doesn't matter what the situation is. It really doesn't matter, because we meet each other at that place where this next stanza talks about, try not to judge me, because we've walked down different paths. But it brought us here together, and I won't take that back. To be in a place where you can look at every messy moment of your life and genuinely love it. Not because of it, but because of who it made you. I am here to tell you it is a place of undescribable bliss. It is a gift that we can give one another, that we cannot purchase. We purchase it with our breath day to day. We purchase it with our spiritual practice of being willing to go into our own dark places where we don't necessarily want to embrace, and just love ourselves. We might be oil and water. This could be a big mistake. We might burn like gasoline and fire. It's a chance we'll have to take. If you enter every interaction with another human being with the expectation of kumbaya, you're setting yourself up for huge disappointments. We polish one another. We have different perspectives. It's interesting to be in New Thought in a political year and not just realize, but embrace that there are people in New Thought who voted for people that I think shouldn't be in office. And to remember that, oh, everybody doesn't think me? You mean because we're like-minded, we don't all think alike? Tricky little phrase, isn't it? Because like-minded doesn't mean we all think alike, and it certainly does not mean you're going to like everything someone else thinks. Are we willing to listen to one another? Are we willing to meet each other at that non-judgmental space of a broken, open heart to see through the stains and the cracks at who's really there? Because who's really there is you. And who's really in your cracks and stains is that other person that we see as them. Because if there's only one of us here, then we're all it. Brilliantly, exquisitely individualized. But there's only one of us in multiplicity. And that's, when I'm filtering through an airport and there's a whole lot of one of us, thems in front of me trying to get through security, I forgot that. It's easy to forget here in the land of form and effect. We're a spiritual community. We don't all agree with each other. Thank God. Because if we all agreed, emergent evolution would never happen. Emergent evolution is the evolution of things that demand something new. Okay? It's an evolution that comes forward to meet the evolution of who we are and who we be. That only happens because we have conversations, because we have different thoughts. So let's meet each other in this place of love and compassion. I looked up compassion in the dictionary. It's really interesting. The definition of compassion in the dictionary says to suffer for. But if you go to the root of the word, compare, it means to suffer with. Just slightly different. One is codependent. One is love. What would it be like if we met each other with instead of for? I'm going to try to get this chorus out without losing it, but it doesn't always happen. We may shine. We may shatter. We might be picking up the pieces hereafter. We are fragile because we're human. I think this is the most important line in this song. We are shaped by the light we let through us. Take that in. We are shaped by the light we let through us. If there are no cracks, if there are no windows, no light gets through. We're made of it. But if we don't create some cracks for folks to see it, and if we don't allow our heart to break open, to expand, we never know more love than we know this moment. And as I so often tell you, you are so much more magnificent than you know. You are intentional. You are unrepeatable. You are Creator's heart's desire in form. That moves me every time I say it. When I look at you, I am committed to seeing that. And so my call to us this morning is to first find that person in the mirror. To be able to look yourself eyeball to eyeball in the mirror. And to say out loud, you are an amazing, unrepeatable expression of creation. And I love you. And if you catch yourself looking away, do it again. And do it several times a day until you can catch yourself when you walk past the mirror like, well, hey, I know you. And all the little gremlins that jump up about how arrogant that is, they're just little spots to heal. Because when we walk through the world catching our own reflection as the magnificence that it is, then the next step is when we pass people in conversation or on the street or on the Facebook or wherever it is, we have that same response. Well, hey, you little godlet you. Aren't you magnificent? I love you. Now, I'm not for 1 minute suggesting you walk down the street saying that out loud. Because I do know there are certain social mores, if you will, that might get us a little chat with the 5150 folks. That's all right. I've chatted with them before for less crazy things and less healthy things. We say that we are about creating a world that works for everyone. It starts with you. If the world is not working for you, you can't be a part of making it work for anybody else. So start with you. Fall in love with you. The most important relationship you have is with you. And then start expanding out. And we will heal this planet and everyone on it. And we will be amazed before we are halfway through. Let's take this into prayer. There's only one infinite, ever-present love. It is intelligent. It is pure peace. It is grace beyond my human understanding. In this moment, I choose to call it Creator, knowing that by whatever name I refer to it cannot encompass all that it is. The infinite cannot be encompassed. Knowing that there is this one and that all life is created out of it, by it, to be it, I know that I must be it in form. And what is true of me is true of all life. Every physical expression, an expression of divinity. Every interaction, an interaction of divinity with divinity. Every experience, an experience of the divine. And so I speak my word this morning, claiming and affirming that we, the collective we, the individualized expressions of the one we, open to a greater experience of the truth of who we are. That we move about this plane called Earth, recognizing, consciously aware that as we speak from the infinite to the infinite. That when we look into the eyes of another, it is the divine Creator looking from its eyes into its eyes. And beyond all appearances, we stand in the truth of who we are. Physical expressions of the infinite's heart. And we stand and act from that authority in all that we do, in all that we are. But as we do, we live in gratitude. Gratitude being faith. Gratitude being the thank you for the answered prayer that we don't yet see, but we know. Because we know that the word cannot return void. We know that we live in a universe of law that always says yes to its own heart. And so it's done perfectly, done completely. And we stand in that faith. And it is from that faith that we let go, knowing that it's already handled. And then we simply move through the next moment of our life, always in the now, recognizing the fulfillment of our word spoken. I invite you to move into a new experience of you, a new experience of life, by anchoring this with me, by making it your own, as we say together. And so it is.